Hold on, hold.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another Mortgage Coach interview. Today, I'm interviewing someone that is more than a business friend, a personal friend, one of the best human beings in the mortgage industry, Devin, out of the Northeast. What's up, my brother?
How you doing? Thank you for that introduction, bud. That's pretty cool stuff. Appreciate it.
Well,
Right back at you.
We have become more than just, hey, you're a client, use Mortgage Coach. We've gone through some things, and we are personal friends, and you are really a good dude. And your market, you're in Boston, right?
I'm in Boston. I'm just south of the city in Norwell, Massachusetts, about 20 minutes south. So,
and you're killing it in the mortgage space. What kind of business and volume are you guys doing right now?
we're trying. I run a branch. Personally, I think we've helped just over 390 families this year for just about 175 million, making that mad dash for 200, trying to hit it. So we'll see how the end of the year shakes out here.
Yeah, well, I think you're doing more than trying. I mean, to even be in hitting range of 200 million, that's pretty special. And how's that compared to last year?
I did just over 500 units for 200 and I think 18 million last year. So what was crazy is on the back end of last year, as we all know, November, December were just astronomical numbers. My best months in the business. Looking back at it, I don't even know how we did it, especially with everything that was going on personally, health-wise. So, to be able to get close to that this year, I'm really trying to repeat last December. So we'll see what we can do.
Well, dude, you are truly an inspiration to me and anyone who knows you. We won't get into, you mentioned some health issues, exactly what's going on there right now in this call, but that might be something for another call.
Sure.
This call, because I know you watch a lot of the videos in the Mortgage Coach community. By the way, how often do you watch content and watch the YouTube channel?
I'm religious with it. I couldn't be more appreciative of what you do in this community. I mean, it's so cool to see the different people that are involved all over the country and what they bring to the table. I mean, it is just tremendous value. I've made it a daily discipline. Honestly, I try to wake up every day at 5 with my coffee. The goal is I personally journal, kind of set up the day. I look for at least 30 minutes with Savage, and then try to get a workout in a 30-minute sweat before the kids get up. So that's my goal every day. So,
oh man, that is such an honor to have that role in your life. And an hour with Savage is not Savage. It's an hour with some baller,
right,
badass mortgage professional that's delivering advice as a competitive advantage. So that's beautiful, man.
Thank you for what you do, because it is truly amazing.
Well, thank you, man. I love what I do. Before we get into the topic at hand, which is how to get realtors to think differently and think out of the box and how to do that in a way that makes more money, I got a call from our mutual friend, Shant Benoshian, yesterday. And Shant said, "Hey, Dave, I'm doing some strategic planning for 2022. And purchase is our foundation business, purchase and realtors. But, we did like a little over $1 billion in rate and term refis last year. And with rates going up, we're not going to keep doing that, but equity's gone up. And so he's really doing some strategic planning around how does he continue, purchase is number one,
right?
But how can he get more cash out refis? So what are your thoughts on how I should prioritize that in the content I'm creating in Mortgage Coach? Should I create some how to optimize your past customer database and how to optimize cash out refis?
Absolutely. I mean, Sean, by the way, is an absolute beast. We all know that. Very close friend, and he's the absolute best. Leave it to him to be ahead of the game, already thinking about next year and cash out refis. But yeah, I mean, without question, with rates ticking up here, having the most equity in the history of the country, and you see people that are in debt, or the big thing that I'm seeing right now locally is that the cost of construction got so out of control. And now it's starting to come back to a point. So people that were looking to do home renovations were holding off. And now is a great time to take out cash to upgrade, the kitchen, the bathroom, et cetera. So, how do we get in front of the database? How do we get in front of homeowners to make that happen? I think is awesome. Great idea.
So anyone that's watching this, whether you're watching it live in our Facebook group or on our YouTube channel, one, help me prioritize the content I'm creating. Clearly it's a purchase first mortgage market, and Mortgage Coach is always going to have a lot of conversations about how to do more purchase business, kill it with realtors. But if you want to have more content around cash out refis, let me know down below. If you have a big cash out refi strategy that's working for you and you want me to interview you, let me know down below. So cool. So let's pivot to the topic at hand. I know you want to talk about realtors, how you're getting them to think out of the box. So why don't you kind of share for the community the big idea of what you're doing?
Sure. Doing this almost 20 years now, when I look back at the beginning of my career, one of the biggest things that I was doing is getting out in front of agents. Every Monday, I'd drive around to the different towns with the rate sheets, stuff the inboxes, try to talk to the people at the desks. Half of them put their head down. They didn't want to talk to you. And that was like a really hard thing to do, right? And but at that point, there was no better way to get in front of agents. And I just think with this whole COVID thing and how people have become so comfortable with getting in front of Zoom, it has really changed the game. And I mean, for the past 5-10 years, I've done a lot of office meetings with agents. Don't get me wrong. And I like doing them. And at the end of the day, nothing beats face-to-face interaction. So I'm not saying I want to replace that. But with that being said, there is still a lot of people that aren't that, comfortable with the face-to-face. And I've been doing a ton of meetings with offices and really focusing, just asking for 5 to 10 minutes and focusing on a strategy that I can showcase through Mortgage Coach. And I'm not doing anything that we all haven't seen on the channel. I mean, most of my stuff is really kind of swipe and adapt off of what I've seen here, like an Amber cost of waiting or, move up buyer strategy. I'm just copying those and setting up meetings. I will tell you that, there's a local office down the street and there were 22 agents in the meeting on Tuesday, and I hadn't connected with them in a while. I bumped into the owner of the company. We decided that we were going to do a meeting together, and I just went over I used the less down payment option because I just met with somebody who was really battling with 20% down. Right. And everything in this market to be competitive, you have to have 20% down. And people think, that's the only option. And I explained to them that with my buyer, they want to make home renovations at this price point. I showed them how to put, in my specific case, 10% down, right? And that the offer can show 20% down and what that means to the buyer legally, how we got to make sure that we're protected. But at the end of the day, you can apply for less, just as long as we're getting to the closing table. That's all that matters. And this agent, the broker owner brought me in and we just had a great meeting. What was awesome is that out of the 22 people, I connected with 5 agents that, 3 of them I hadn't even met yet because his office is growing. The other 2 I hadn't connected with in over 6 months. So just getting in front of people, it was easy. I was at my desk, 5 to 10 minutes versus, driving 20 minutes down the road, getting the donuts and the coffee, and then getting stuck in the office talking afterwards. It changed my mindset. Like, wait a second, I can do multiple meetings in a day right from my desk and get in front of 100 agents in less than an hour. It's a complete game changer.
Yeah, no, that is super powerful. So let's unpack that in a minute. I do want to pull and ask you this interview. Well, actually, this was an interview. This was a piece of content Denise Donahue created for the Modern Mortgage Summit on how she blows the minds of realtors. Did you watch that one? I think it's about 5 minutes long.
I did. That's the one when she prints the stuff out, right? I
Yeah.
believe. Yes. Yep.
And guys, that's a must watch
It is.
video. I want to remind you this whole Agent Advantage playlist. I made this playlist so that help realtors understand the value of a mortgage coach and to give you content that helps you use Mortgage Coach to get more referrals from realtors. So they're all less than 5 minutes. I think this one with Shayla is like 6 minutes and 15 seconds, where she walks through how to do a cost of waiting analysis with Mortgage Coach, and she presents it to a room full of realtors. So check that out. What are some of the top strategies? Like if you were on Zoom today and you had 5, 20, 100 realtors, what would be some of the top stories you tell and some of the top strategies you'd share?
I really kind of keep it down to my top 3, which is the cost of waiting, the appraisal gap strategy, and the lower down payment, I've called it, which is the one that I just explained to you. As somebody was frustrated, they weren't getting what they were looking for at like the 800 purchase price point. And I showed them like, what if we put down less and use the 15% for home renovation? And at the end of the day, guys, we're just trying to get the agents to think, right? To get their wheels turning with their buyer pool. And I offered up, hey, if any of you have scenarios and you want me to customize it for your client, get on a Zoom, a screen share with you, let's do it. And it's just been an awesome response, and they view you as a partner. Now it's not about, what's your rate and cost. It's, wait a second, we're helping get people into homes. And there's a lot of buyers that have pent up frustration down here south of Boston, just like most parts of the country, right? So, to be able to help them think outside the box really makes a difference, and we're adding value to their business.
So let's do this. We'll see how much time we have to talk about how to.
Oh, Dave, you froze on me.
I'm froze. Okay, well, I'm still here. I will fix.
Yep, you're back.
Okay,
You're back.
good. Okay, I didn't know if I froze. That does happen sometimes.
Sorry about that.
So if we have time, we'll talk about how to get a bunch of realtors in a Zoom meeting. But right now, let's just assume that mortgage professionals, whether they're in person or they're on Zoom, they're doing a meeting. Give us kind of the outline, and then let's actually show a strategy. Have you share your screen as though you're teaching realtors. I want them to this is how Devin shows up as a mortgage coach for a room full of realtors. So first of all, give us the outline of the meeting, the agenda, the flow.
Okay, so just to be clear, with the realtor meeting, like the one I just did, it's not that complicated to setting it up. I connected with the broker owner and just said, I have an idea that I want to share. And I know these guys, they have weekly meetings, but they're always looking for content, right? So to be able to share something of true value helps them. So, I prefaced it with all I need is 5 to 10 minutes, right? And if you want me to jump in.
Yeah, well, by the way, hey, wait, time out. If you did a 5 to 10 minute realtor meeting, I literally want to flip the switch on this. And guys, did you hear the script? Go to a manager or someone who helps organize the meetings. I've got an idea that will help your agents sell more homes.
Bingo.
And create more urgency with buyers and sellers. Okay, there's a script.
Who's going to say no to that?
Yeah, who's going to say no? And all I need
Nobody.
is 5 to 10 minutes. So now let's actually have you do a realtor meeting. Let's do a 5 to 10 minute realtor meeting, and let's see how that goes. And pull up Mortgage Coach when you would pull it up in a realtor meeting.
Right. Oh, you're gonna put me on the spot here. Well,
Yeah,
thanks,
come
guys.
on. You can do it. Right?
Thank you for having me. And I know, right now is a crazy time. We're rolling into the holidays. What I find interesting, and I don't know if you're seeing the same thing, but last month, everybody around here was complaining about things getting a little slow. Well, here we are the week before Thanksgiving, and everybody that I'm talking to is cranking, right? So we need to be ready, through the end of the year here to finish strong. And, hopefully I can help you close more homes. And I had asked so-and-so just for 5 to 10 minutes of your time. And what I want to do right now is just share with you a strategy that actually happened to me yesterday. And why I want to share it with you is because the agent came back to me and said, wow, Chris, this worked with this buyer, but I really think it can work with X, Y, and Z buyer as well. And it got their wheels turning. So hopefully it gets your wheels turning. So sharing my screen here, guys.
So by the way, guys, that's 50 seconds. He's 50 seconds into it. He framed it. The only thing I might do is frame it a little bit more with, and I'm going to show you how to create urgency with your, first time home. What is the strategy, by the way, that you're going to show?
Less down home buyer. And in this situation, let me just get in here. So in this situation, guys, we had a buyer that was looking in the, they wanted to be in the 7 to 750 range, not finding what they were looking for. They could afford really up to like 900,000, but they were looking for a certain payment. So here we are months later, and they're still not finding what they want to. And all they keep hearing is, sorry, this offer, is not accepted. And they were getting frustrated. And from a down payment perspective, they have the 20%, but they weren't finding what they were really looking for. So I said to them, guys, this home that you just found, you're telling me you love the location, the size works. There are some things that you love about the house, but the kitchen and the master bedroom are not hitting the spot and you're kind of on the fence. Well, what if we go in at the asking price in this case, and it was 780,000? You're talking about putting down 20%, which really leaves you with very little money in the bank. And you've been battling, to get this savings, to get yourself in the position, but it's just not enough for what you're looking for. Okay. So we can put on the offer 780, 20% down. But as you know, and I know, we can actually apply after the fact for more. Now, if it comes to denial, and I go into detail about that, like at the end of the day, you can't get denied for 10% down when you qualify for 20% down. But if you're going to buy this home at 20% down, no matter what, this is a phenomenal strategy. Because if you look, putting in, these guys were hesitant at first and they weren't sure of the cost of construction. So I'm showing them 15% down. Okay. So that would keep about, $40,000 in their pocket and really only cost them just a little bit over $225 extra per month. But that 40,000 can do the bedroom for you guys. Okay. Now, what if we only put 10% down? Okay. That's going to keep close to $80,000 in your pocket to customize the kitchen, to redo the bedroom, and you're going to have the home that you were hoping for. And they talked it through, back and forth with each other. And they said, listen, the bedroom at the end of the day, we're not really concerned about. We really want to redo the kitchen, open it up and make it ours. That $80,000 was going to get them exactly what they were looking for. So these guys ended up going with a 10% down option. In this scenario, the only reason why I didn't even take it one step further and show them 5% down is I was dealing with the max conforming loan amount. So we ended up, did talk about getting them to the 724,500, which was the end result. So they got close to 100,000. I just don't have it on the TCA. And we're able to get their home and put it together. So this is a buyer that, was just thinking this house is not going to work. And they ended up going with something with a few minor tweaks that made the difference. Does that make sense?
It does. And then did you give the link to this story and this strategy to all the realtors? Did you put a link to it in chat or do anything?
I believe, yeah. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, it's a no-brainer whether I did or didn't. Yeah, I definitely share it. What I did offer is agents, I can do this. It's super easy. So if you have a scenario, if you have a buyer right now in the market that is on the fence or not sure about a home because it's not checking all of their boxes, let's open up the dialogue, bring me in. I'm more than happy to customize a specific total cost analysis for your buyer, and hopefully that will help. And then
So
that's when I started to get pinged
and
by
by the
the
way,
agents.
and that was a really powerful close, like he's telling a story, just happened yesterday. He's showing a strategy. This is pretty common that this happens to agents. And then he's like, and if you have anybody that you want me to do this for, you're not just saying, hey, anybody that wants a loan. It's like anybody you need to get off the fence and into escrow, anybody that you need to make a higher counter offer. Anything else you want to add before I ask a few more questions?
Sure. So what that has turned into, I've done this a decent amount now. So I'll follow up with the managing broker.
Chris,
Yeah.
Chris, time out. Anything else on the TCA? Because if you're done with the TCA, let's stop sharing it.
Okay. Got it.
Okay. Yeah. Stop sharing it. And then kind of give us, it sounds like you're going to give us your taking action plan after the meeting. Go ahead.
Right. I mean, following up with the managing broker, I knew from the reaction and the questions that people were engaged and they would be happy with what I brought to the table because it created a buzz. So I followed up with the managing broker and he asked me to come back 2 weeks later. And I said, listen, if you're looking for content, I have more strategies that can really help your agents in different ways. And he's all for it. So now I'm fully engaged with that full office of, 20 plus agents and building relationships with them, creating one-off coffee meetings, running scenarios, sharing screens with them. And it's all from our desk, going back to the original point of, I'm not against the belly to belly, but it's just not easy to do right now. And it's easy. It's easy and actually more effective in my eyes to do it this way. So it's been a complete game changer.
Okay, guys. So here's the deal, guys. Get out there and do agent meetings, 5 to 15 minutes, and always make sure you're telling a story and a strategy. You're using a total cost analysis to visualize that and help the agent think out of the box. And some of the best topics right now are rep versus own, cost of waiting analysis, down payment options, anything that's going to help an agent get a buyer to make a winning offer. And then also, guys, don't forget about the move up analysis. This is a great strategy to help agents get more listings. I also want to share one more idea. Tell me what you think of this, Chris, is because I know you attended the Modern Real Estate Summit.
Yep.
Hang on. I want to make sure I'm sharing the right screen here. And so this looks familiar, right? This is the pass for that.
Yep.
The cool thing about this is all of the content's under 18 minutes. And here's a 4-minute and 9-second episode of Ryan Serhant, America's most well-known real estate professional. You could play one of these videos in your sales meeting. Check this out. I can literally just click this button.
I am super pumped to bring on our next
I'm
followers.
gonna skip through it real quick.
Mortgage.
And look at this, guys. Look how well you can hear it.
Secret. Important as client relationships, because you might have one transaction or a few transactions with a client over the course of their life, but you might do transactions.
I think you guys get the point. You could play this video, so you're in Zoom, and you could take some of this content from the Modern Real Estate Summit or some other video content you have that's just realtor centric. You could play that, so they're getting a little, guest speaker into the meeting. You taking notes on this. Hey, here's a couple takeaways, and then now let me show you a strategy thinking out of the box. So if you want to do more than 5 minutes, you can consider some content like that. But if it's just pure mortgage coach, mortgage strategies, you can just do it with the TCA. What are your thoughts on that idea, Chris, by the way?
I love it. And you made my 2022 easier because my thought was I'm just finishing Modern Mortgage Summit. I was going to jump into Real Estate Summit. And my idea was to watch those videos and then present it to the offices. I don't even have to present it. It will make it that much easier. Just hit play. It's a brilliant idea. Why didn't I think of that? No, that's awesome.
Well, I haven't created any content in the mortgage coach community for that yet. So,
Right.
and remember, oh, go ahead.
Just so you know, when I asked for the 5 to 10 minutes, every single meeting has gone at least 30 because the questions just roll. So, it's valuable time with the agents. You're adding value. They can see you, which is awesome. And you couple that with Dave's idea right there, and you got a grand slam, I think.
Yeah. So guys, also we had a e-learning expert create taking action notes. So we transcribed all the content. If you want those show notes, so you have the taking action notes, text me at 949-799-0837, and I'll put that down below. So if you actually want all the notes from the Modern Real Estate Summit, text me and I'll get those to you. That also puts you in my mobile club. So any of the, my best interviews, some of the micro content we create, I'll send you a text message if you're in that. Again, 949-799-0837. So Chris, before we wrap it up, anything missing from this? Anything you want to make sure everybody hears?
No, I mean, it all comes back to my favorite quote from Wayne Gretzky, being a hockey guy: you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, right? And this technology and Zoom and the world that we're in right now, rather than just hiding in our offices and behind a phone and a desk, I mean, this is the best time to get out there. And the crazy thing is you don't even have to walk outside. Just getting in front of people, sharing your screen, connecting with the agents. I haven't met an agent yet that didn't love the ideas that I'm sharing. So, thank you for the technology and the ability to do this stuff, because it truly is a game changer.
And any advice to new loan officers getting in the business around using Mortgage Coach, or any loan officers that are listening to this that are not giving their families a total cost analysis versus a fee worksheet?
It's a non-negotiable. I actually have been working with a lot of my new LOs, and if they're going to watch this, they'll probably laugh. Like, it is, I'm preaching it every single day. It is a non-negotiable to be tied in using the TCA in a world where the big guys are just constantly creeping in. The market is so compressed, and I'm sure just like other markets, there are some lenders out there that are just giving it away. They're just cutting it down to nothing and trying to blow everybody up. So, to be able to come to the table with your clients and not just be rate and cost, be a true advisor and strategist is the only way, in my eyes, to compete in today's market.
Well, I agree with that. And here's some of my closing thoughts, guys. And also just a recommendation on some really key content. Like, this is a great video. Here's another one. Can you see my screen right now, Chris?
I can.
So guys, we have disrupted this. Like, this is dead. This is the fee worksheet. It is commoditizing yourself because it's just rate, payment, and cash to close. It is not clarity and confidence. It's confusion. And here's another interview. I don't know. Did you watch the interview I did with Gina Myers?
I did
2 weeks ago.
Yep. Fellow CCM. Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
She's
So
fantastic.
she's another black belt. So another
Yep.
black belt mortgage coach. And this is another strategy, guys, where she made a really good case that all of her home buyers are getting this points analysis. Hey, and they're showing one option with no points. Gina shares one with a quarter, one with 3/4, and one with 3/8. And her whole vision around this was, when the client picks the option, they pick me. And they also, when they see the options over time, they have more trust because she's more transparent. She's creating more value. This is about a 22-minute video. I'll put a link to it down below. But if you're not giving every family a total cost analysis, you're using a dated strategy. So Chris, any last thoughts before we wrap it?
Just looking at that quickly, one of my favorite takeaways over the past year, just in regards to how to build a report, I think Jeremy talked about, giving the exact price. I was stuck on, it had to be 1 point, half point, 2 points, and adjusting it to the true cost really opens up their mind and and eliminates pricing exceptions and the crazy pricing issues. So I've adjusted to that. And then also making sure when you're building out the report, putting option 1, option 2, option 3 across the top. I think that, resonates with the buyer, with the home borrower, that they have options, and it's the little stuff that can make the difference. So I'm doing that on every TCA
By the
now.
way, I'm curious, when you're doing your rate options, Gina is 0 to 1 3/8 or 1.5. What's usually your range when you're delivering a rate options TCA?
Really depends on the product and the pricing that day. But typically what I try to do is show between 0 and 2 points. So it might be a half, 1 1/4, and 1 7/8. It might be,
You usually do three
I
options?
usually do 3. I always like to show at least 3 options. Very rarely will I show anything less.
Yeah, and that Jeremy does 3 too. So Jeremy, we're referring to Jeremy Forcier, guys, another great mortgage coach, grandmaster's done over 5,000 TCAs, and he does 3 in his TCAs. And then also, I hope you guys got that takeaway. Either label them as options with a little bit of description, or strategies. Strategy 1, strategy 2, strategy 3. It will reduce price exceptions. It will reduce grinding, and it will improve your conversion. So Chris, dude, you're the man, bro. Really appreciate you. Anyone listening to this, I hope you got value. So give us a like, share this with your mortgage friends. If you don't already subscribe to the Mortgage Coach YouTube channel, you should. You heard it from Chris. This is part of his morning rhythms, is watching Mortgage Coach channel. So take care, everybody.
Thanks,
Take care,
Dave. Pleasure.
Appreciate you, brother.
Take care.